Today is the day, and I'm almost tempted to say today is the day that the Lord has made, but I'm almost tempted. It is the beginning of the 190th Oktoberfest in Munich. Welcome to BR24live. My name is Dominik Posic, and we are covering this year's opening ceremony of the Munich Oktoberfest in English. And the big question is going to be, how many strikes will Mayor Dieter Reiter need? This time I'm talking about the traditional tapping of the first barrel. So even if you are only a little interested, barely interested in Oktoberfest, this program is for you, so just bear with us, watch, listen, learn and be entertained. And I am not alone, as you may see. There are two highly decorated guests joining me, Marlene Speck-Waller, brewer and malt master. She will be joining us in a bit, and I'm starting things off with Walter König, managing director of the Bavarian Brewers Association. Thank you for taking the time. So maybe
thank you for the invitation.
First off, maybe you can tell us and the audience what exactly it is that you're doing.
I'm a brewer by trade, so I did an apprenticeship in a Bavarian brewery 40 years ago. Then I run a malt house in the Rhine area, and since 25 years I'm working for the Bavarian Brewers Association. I care of all the raw materials, especially hops, German hops from the Hallertau, and malting barley from Bavaria, Germany and all over Europe. And give brewers advice, because every crop, every year is different. We're producing a natural product, and this is very challenging every year.
And Oktoberfest is the highlight of your year?
Oktoberfest
One of the highlights?
is the end of the highlights.
The end of the highlights, okay.
Because there are several big Volksfests in Germany, in Bavaria especially. This is a tradition, and Oktoberfest is the last one after Rosenheim, Gilamos, Straubing and the big ones. And now we are celebrating the last one.
Yeah, we can talk about the tradition, the Bavarian culture of having Volksfeste everywhere in a bit. There is also our colleagues from the Bavarian television that are also covering what is happening right now. And I can see it in my monitor that, yeah, what is happening right now, because there is usually, I'm calling it the parade of the Oktoberfest landlords that are going to the Theresienwiese, so-called Theresienwiese. This is the place where the Oktoberfest is taking place. And then at high noon, 12 a.m. there will be the traditional tapping of the first barrel, and then it is called Ozapft is in German, or in Bavarian, which could be translated by it's tapped. And only then the Munich Oktoberfest is officially opened up, and then there will be beer. And this is what you see, what happened today already. It is the run to Oktoberfest. So today at 9 a.m. the gates opened up, and everybody who wanted to have a seat in the tent made a run for it. Yeah, and these are our colleagues from television that are doing it in German, and so we are doing it in English. So if you are interested in the German program, then you have to switch your program. If you are interested in the English translation here a little bit, then just stay with us. And we will always comment a bit about what we're seeing, and so we don't miss a thing. And of course at noon we are here. Yeah, so I have one question for my colleagues. Muss ich eigentlich die nächste Zeile springen, oder passt das so, wie wir jetzt gerade sind? That's all good. Okay, so maybe the first thing that comes to mind when you talk about Oktoberfest, especially when I'm talking to international visitors, because today it is the 20th of September. Why is there an Oktoberfest in September? Why is it called Oktoberfest even though it starts in September? Maybe you can explain a little bit the history of the Oktoberfest.
So if you look back, the wedding of that was the first Oktoberfest. It was a horse race because of the wedding of the conqueror. That was in October. That was mid of October. But then it moved in end of September, and it ends to beginning of October. So it's still an Oktoberfest. It ends this year in the first week of October. And so I think it's because of weather conditions, because of the other Volksfests in Bavaria. So there's a close one after each other row. And so Oktoberfest is the last one. And so the gap is maybe too big.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, speaking about weather, of course, today is what we call in German Kaiserwetter, emperor's weather, up to 29 degrees Celsius or mid 80s Fahrenheit. It is probably one of the best days so far that we've had experienced in September. So best conditions for the Oktoberfest to begin.
And it's very good for all people who are preparing a lot of traditional things for Oktoberfest celebration. If the weather is bad, and they are really enthusiastic, and a lot of passion is in that. If you look at the horses or the wagons and everything, it's so beautiful and so many handcrafts it's in it. So it's really a pity if it is raining whole day, because a lot of things are very expensive and very old. So they may be carrying things on the parades that are 150 years old, and really you have to keep them very, very well. And then it's raining and you're not allowed to cover them, because plastic foils and so on during the parades are not allowed. So everybody wants to see the originals, and if it is raining, it's really bad.
Yeah, and we can see here what is happening with the colleagues. There's a car parking where it should not be parked, I presume.
That would be expensive.
Yeah, most expensive parking spot you have ever had. So maybe let's talk about, you already mentioned Oktoberfest is the end of the highlights, one of the last, if not the last, Volksfest in Bavaria. So Oktoberfest is rooted deeply in the Volksfest tradition of in Bavaria. So what is this Volksfest tradition about? What is it? What are these fall festivities? Where do they come from? Maybe you can take us a little bit down memory lane, and maybe there are some people who are saying, yes, of course I know Oktoberfest, but if I would have known that there are many Oktoberfests or other festivities in Bavaria, maybe something else is also interesting for me. So maybe you can also tell where are the other ones, famous ones, of course for us, but for all of our international audience.
So I think the history, and that was right after the wedding in 1810, the agricultural people took the responsibility of this exhibition. It was an agricultural exhibition with animals, with horse race, with a lot of agricultural machines that are developed every year, more and more techniques. And still today at Carp Farm, maybe this is one of the big exhibitions for agricultural people, for people who are growing corn, hops, wheat and so on. And they are meeting and they are informing at these exhibitions about latest inventions and new tractors and so on. And it's still every 4 years, it's beside the Oktoberfest, there is this exhibition. This year it should be, but half a year before they decided maybe there's not enough interest for that, so they cancelled it. But on the other sides, like Allgäuer Festwoche in Kempten, or Karpfam or Straubing, the big Straubing Volksfest, Gäubotenfest, these exhibitions are, I think, the history, reason and purpose for these meetings. And from the first year on, some people who run merry-go-rounds and some shooting things, they are besides their exhibitions. And over the years, the exhibitions, because number of farmers in Bavaria decreased even, and the number of people who just come for celebrating, drinking beer, having fun increased, and so the exhibitions went smaller, and the tents with food and beer and all the things where you can have fun, they increased. And so the Oktoberfest now, it is a celebrating, drinking, eating, tradition, music, and on the other side, a lot of things where you can have fun and go for a ride. And every 4 years or sometimes every year. On the other places, you can have this agricultural exhibitions.
Yeah, that's also maybe something to say in general. The Oktoberfest and also the other Volksfeste, there are different things there. Oktoberfest has 500 attractions, or better said, businesses. Some of them are attractions, so you also have roller coasters there.
Yes.
You can eat, you can drink. You have the big tents, of course, that you probably know most about, but there's also like a little fair going on, so you can be on a merry-go-round and whatnot, or a Ferris wheel, roller coasters, like I said, Wilde Maus and whatever.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just like a big family event. Maybe you can. What is the core for a Volksfest? Because there is a stereotype saying it's only about drinking beer and getting wasted.
No. The tradition, I think, is that people are after harvest, because Bavaria is an agricultural part of the country. After harvest, they have the money for celebrating. They have the time for meeting, discussing. So 3 days ago, I went to a small Volksfest in the area of Hallertau, and it was more than 100 years. They discussed about the quality of the barley harvest and the quality of the hops harvest, and a lot of brewers from southern Bavaria, they came to Moosburg, and they just discussed and watched the samples, discussed about the brewing quality of these raw materials. And this is a very, very long tradition, and this is meeting, and then after discussion, after every information, having a beer together, meeting, because they had no internet, they had no WhatsApp or something like that, and it was not possible after the harvest to give them information about qualities, amounts, prices. So now it's not allowed to talk about prices among each other, but at this times, I think that was the first time when they did contracts and bought some barley, some hops right after the harvest.
Okay, so, and as you may see, there are some tools here. This is my coffee mug, this is not a tool, but you brought something with you that is also going to be like in the spotlight when it comes to the tapping of the first keg later at noon. Maybe you can explain what exactly this is. This looks like a gavel and this looks like a faucet.
Yeah, I think this is today the most important tools that the mayor of Munich has to use and has to know how to use them, because with this he opens the first cask, a wooden cask, and it's heavy. It's out of messing. What's messing in English?
Brass. Yeah,
I don't know. And it's
thank you.
And it's very difficult because, as you can see, it's not cylindric. So if you bring it in the vessel, in the cask, you have to make it tight. And if it is like a little bit this or that, it's not tight, and you get a lot of beer out of it, and you're getting wet. And so it's very, very important to get it on the first hit right into the cask and hold the opener, because if you don't hold it, it's going out. And you get beer out of here, and everybody's getting wet. So it's very important to have the thumb in that, and then you take a heavy wooden thing to open it, and then, yeah, hit it straight, hit it hard, and then the second one has to go very fast after that. Maybe with 2 hits, he can do it. Or zapft is.
So 2 hits is the goal. 2 hits is.
I think 2 hits is the goal. 1 is not enough. 1 is just to break the hole. The second one is for security, that it is really tight. And if it is not tight, you feel that on your hand. And then you need a third one. And the third one is more than enough. The second one should be okay.
You can do it with 2 hits?
Yes.
He says very, very confidently. This is. Can I? Actually, it's quite heavy, huh? I remember also when this tradition started, or when at least I can remember how it started with. Always is the mayor of Munich doing that. That the goal, of course, is 2 hits. But I remember the former mayor, Christian Ude. Ude also needed for his first time, I believe, 16 strikes, something like that. Is it embarrassing?
Wimmer needed 18 strikes, but 18. He did it first in 1950.
Okay.
So he started this tradition. He had the idea for that, and it was a disaster. But I remember years ago we had a minister of our agriculture ministry in Germany, and we had to open a big fest, Grüne Woche, in Berlin. And we called him weeks before and said, we offer you a training on a wooden cask, a big one, 200 liters, like they do it on the Oktoberfest. And then you are well prepared and can do it in Berlin, because there will be a lot of media, there will be a lot of cameras, and everything is watching you. He said, a Bavarian minister of agriculture, he has not to practice. He can do that. And then it was a disaster.
They go high and they fall low. So maybe you heard her already, so let's bring her into the show. Marlene Speckwaler, brewer and malt master, is joining us now on our program, the second guest of today, because we are talking about tapping and everything. So do you know how to use this as well?
Yes.
You also can do it with 2 hits?
Yes, because I had the great fortune to reign the land of Bavaria as Queen of Bavarian beer in 2015 and 2016. And I got my own training to, like Walter just said, to tap the keg, because it's not easy, and it's a lot about, wrist placement, keep it firm, firm tapping, to know how to hold it exactly with the thumb,
right stand.
Yes. It's like very intricate and a lot of points to consider. And some of you might think, I've been to, I don't know, my great aunt's birthday, and she tapped this tiny keg. Doesn't look that hard. But you have to know that the smaller kegs you often get on birthdays have a different mechanism with a tiny spring inside, so you don't get the mess and you don't have to work against the pressure of the beer inside. Yes. But that keg the mayor is tapping right now is the real deal, and you have to push this tap inside against the pressure of 200 liters of beer, and that is really, really tough.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So maybe now we can also have a look at what is happening right now at Theresienwiese. And because I can see, yes, that these are the horse carriages carrying what exactly? Who is that? That's the mayor, right? Yeah. Dieter Reiter sitting there waving at the audience. Can we get a little audio of that also? Können wir da auch ein bisschen Ton haben zu, oder kriegen wir das nicht hin?
And that was Mr. Reiter. He's the speaker of all the owners of the tents.
Auch die Wirte von der Schottenhammel Festhalle, der Christian Schottenhammel und der Michael Florian.
Jawohl. Und hinten sehen wir ein Herzsaal. München Olympia. Im Oktober gibt es einen Bürgerentscheid.
Munich's mayor, Dieter Reiter, and his wife. Maybe one of you can explain what exactly is this tradition? Why aren't they just waiting in the tent for the people to come? Why is this sort of parade happening today? Why do they come with these big horse carriages?
I think first I have to tell you about this feeling before 12 o'clock. So if you walk through the Oktoberfest place about 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the opening, it's a little bit spooky because it's totally quiet. Nobody is, nothing happens. All this merry-go-rounds and roller coasters, they are not allowed to to do music, to drive. So there are thousands of people there, and it's quiet because they are all in the tents and they are all just waiting for the big moment. And it's spooky, yeah. And then the parade arrives at the Oktoberfest, and every of these wagons, the horse wagons, this stops in front of this own tent, the belonging tent, and the people from the wagons that are the wirt of the tent and some people, music. Then they do a small parade into the tent. They go on the stage, and then in every tent, it's not just the tent when the mayor opens the first cask. So in every tent at 12 o'clock, somebody prominent or good known in Munich, or a minister or something like that, or the Bavarian beer queen, they open kegs, and then in every tent at 12 o'clock they serve the first beer. Yeah.
So the beer flows after that, and the music starts, and all of the attractions, roller coasters and whatnot, they start. Okay, it's interesting. Have
also,
you ever...
think about the fact, if you were in any other restaurant and you told the people, you know what, you can come, but you're not going to be served with any drinks or food for 3 hours.
Yes.
And still people are running like that to get there. It just signifies how excited and how special this day is, and how this entire city basically prepared for it for over a year, basically.
And the parade itself, it's you can see there are music groups, there are folkloric groups with original old historic clothing. There are some groups who are just representing old handcrafts, and then in between the big brewery, so 6 horses are carrying the big brewery vessels, wagons, because in former times the beer was carried by horses to the Oktoberfest on such wagons, and nowadays it's just one brewery left that opens every day, or the whole 14 days of Oktoberfest wooden casks, and do all the beer that's tapped from wooden casks. Other tents, they have beer tanks and ring tubes where the beer comes out, but some keep the old tradition, but the vessels are not going by horses to the Oktoberfest. There are trucks.
Yeah, trucks carrying that. So there are a couple of things I would like to tackle on still. Maybe because we just see it, Trachtenkapelle. And if there is someone watching us that is not familiar with how people are dressing today, or in general, they might be confused and saying, is this how all Germans are dressed all the time? But also, of course, you are wearing the traditional Bavarian attire called Tracht. You are wearing your lederhosen. You are wearing your so-called Dirndl. Maybe, and also we can see that everybody on the screen basically is wearing something similar to that. Maybe you can explain a little bit about your attire. Why is it? Why do you wear what you're wearing? Where does it come from? And how would you wear it properly? Because you can also see, of course, maybe some people are saying, well, I'm at the central station, maybe there is something hanging there. It's plastic. Why not?
Or a t-shirt where it's painted on.
Yes. Yeah, you can see it on. Yes, the Tracht is connected to Bavaria. A lot of people think it's all over Germany, but it's just Bavarian in this form, of course. And a lot of people think that it is goes way back, but actually the Tracht, as we know today, is only about 200 years old, because the reigning family of Bavaria, the Wittelsbacher, they wanted to find a attire that ties their whole kingdom together. They wanted to create wear that people connect with, feel Bavarian in. So that's that family established it in the early 19th century. And a lot of people think that the dirndl used to be a dress that was worn by agricultural workers, but actually it was the attire of ladies from royal court that decided that if they needed to break from city life, they went out into the countryside and they wanted something a bit more casual. So they wore something that looks similar to a dirndl. So in the late 18th century, that's what the lady of the court would wear if she were to go out into the mountains. So it's actually not a traditional agricultural dress as a lot of people think for the dirndl.
Yeah. And lederhosen, same. It was like a little bit identification with the Bavarians, and it is very convenient and it is very good for work because you don't have to wash it. You cannot wash it, so you wear it for years, and it's always.
Unfortunately, we cannot really see. Maybe could you lift up one leg so we can?
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah,
you can see it.
There they are. Okay.
And it's very strong. You cannot break it if you do hard work, and so you have some pockets in it. So you have some things in it what you can use on handicrafts, and the Hosenträger we call it. So there are very easy and plain Hosenträger for working for every day, and you have very nice Hosenträger for celebrating for nice days, for showing how rich people on farms also were. This is also on dirndl. They if they are very pretty and a lot of pearls and a lot of fine things, so that people who own big farms, huge farms, they show how rich the farm is with a very nice dirndl. And so even with the Hosenträger, so I wear some with a brewer's guild Hosenträger with our guild weapon, and with some brewing barley, with some hop cones and some flowers that are in barley and wheat fields. And so it is my good one. And I
for
also
opening day, yes.
And I also have some older ones or not so pretty ones that I wear when I play music or something like that.
Everyday suspenders.
Yeah.
Has it always been like that you have to wear Tracht when you visit the Oktoberfest? I remember that there was a time people were wearing like regular street clothing, or especially among younger people, the youth, they did not really wear that. So maybe you can explain the ups and downs of the Tracht. How did it develop?
Well, I remember my parents telling me, like in the 80s, even in the 90s, it was like, as young people, you didn't go in a dirndl to the Oktoberfest, like jeans, t-shirt. That was the thing, because the whole Tracht was associated with like the very traditional like associations, and so the cool young people didn't wear like dirndl and lederhosen to the Oktoberfest. And I think that only came back like in the early 2000s, I'd say, that it became more and more, normal to go in your Tracht again, and but that it's like today that pretty much everyone wears something, and even visitors from outside the country want to wear it. That's something fairly recent, I'd say.
Yeah, it's also maybe a question to answer for our international guests, maybe making their way to the Oktoberfest and wondering if they should wear it. Would you recommend to wear it, or would you say rather not? Because sometimes people are like, is it maybe offensive to wear one? Because of course it is not maybe the nicest one there is on the market. Would you say come as you are, or what would be your suggestions for someone who is considering going to the Oktoberfest in Tracht maybe?
I think everybody can wear what he wants, what he feels good in. You don't have to wear it. But it's a little bit like dressing up for something big, dressing up for the moment. And it is making yourself a little bit pretty and feeling good before you go. And if you wear your jeans and your jackets like every day, it is like it's too normal. I think going to the Oktoberfest is always a big thing, and they are doing a lot of efforts to make it big there, and you have to honor that with that you dress up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like my opinion is, I personally feel like honored most of the time that people want to wear our traditional clothes. I find the execution sometimes a bit questionable when I see like dirndl that barely go over mid-thigh. So I'd say before you invest in like I don't know, €50 super plastic thing, rather just put on a nice pair of pants or a nice skirt or something, and that's better.
Okay. Thanks for these advices. Maybe something we can also talk about is the bow that you are having, because there has been a lot of hubbub evolving around that. Maybe you can explain, is it really a thing still, and what does it mean?
Yeah, the thing with the bow placement, because there are rules on where a lady places her bow, about her marital status, whether she's single, available, or she's married or together with someone. And it says if you have the bow on your right side, so basically when you look at me, it's on my left, that means she's taken. And on the left, that's supposed to signify that she's available and single. And funnily enough, I also see on international Oktoberfest celebrations, or also on the Wiesen, a lot of girls who wear it in the middle. But that signifies that you're a virgin. So that's all up to you what you want to put out there. But funnily enough, that rule is not some ancient tradition, but it's rumored that some journalist actually came up with that. I know, some decades ago, but it took a life of its own. So now it's pretty, like, people pay attention to that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, are there some particular, like, is it also a kind of a fashion that, like, for this year, a dirndl is what has some colors or some mechanisms, or you have to wear like maybe just explain what is this year's fashion, if you want to be up and about.
Like, dirndl moved more towards, like, in the last years, and especially this year, towards more like muted colors, no embellishments, rather simple, like more buttons or zippers instead of like intricate lacing. So very down to earth, more like velvet, linen, all these types of very basic fabrics, and nothing fancy or frilly. So that's
that was 15 years ago. So that was the fancy time.
Exactly.
With a lot of pearls, with a lot of schnick-schnack.
Yeah, exactly. Added like a lot of colorful things. Yeah, but now it's more.
Now it's basic again.
Yeah.
And about the blouses, so it is not very traditional, or we don't see it a lot, that you don't wear any blouse, so just have the arms naked and open. And but this year I think there's a big fashion thing that you have very transparent blouses, but you have one.
You have one on, but you see, I think that's a thing for this year.
Very see-through. Okay. Yeah. Then the other thing I was, because we still can see that there are the kegs carried to the Oktoberfest here by the horse carriages still. Maybe this is also then one, could be our next subject, the beer on Oktoberfest.
Very important.
Yeah. As you can see here, this is Paulaner, and you gotta say there are only 6 breweries that are allowed to have their beers on Oktoberfest, because you have to be a Munich brewery. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you become a Munich brewery, what kind of breweries are there on Oktoberfest?
Yeah, that are the traditional Munich breweries that have their brewery on the city, within the city borders of Munich. And a big or main thing is that they have to use the Munich old water out of very deep wells. The wells are maybe 200 and over 200 meters deep. And this is one criteria of the Munich beer, that you have to use this old water. And you have to brew or produce your beers in a certain specification. Every style, I say, of beer, of Helles or Pils or Oktoberfest beer, has to be has a style guide, and in this style guide, this is written down, and over centuries, every of this style has to be, and that means if you drink a Oktoberfest beer from a Munich brewery or a Helles from a Munich brewery in 20 years, in 50 years, it is always the same strength, the same bitterness, the same color. Everything is written down, and this is very important for, so you can rely, if it is a Munich beer, a Munich Hell, you can rely on purity law, on the ingredients, and on everything what I counted up, like strength, color, hop, bitterness, and so on.
So what kind of beer is there on Oktoberfest? I can see that this is one of the most Googled question about Oktoberfest beer. Is it ale or lager?
It's a lager beer. Bavarian, that's our thing. Lagers is what we do very well. And the Oktoberfest beer is so special, like, because it's this done for this one event and once a year. And what a lot of people don't realize is this beer is being brewed months in advance. Like, it's lagering and lying in the brewery for weeks and weeks on end. And if the brewmaster sits down, first cask is tapped, and he's like, I would like to redo that again. He cannot. So he has to really, really do it right the first time.
It is also a bit stronger than usual beer, so it's also, you're both nodding. So do not underestimate the Munich beer on Oktoberfest. Is it a Märzen also, or it comes from the Märzen tradition at least?
Exactly, that was the origin of that beer, because there used to be a break of brewing in the summer months in Bavaria. You were not allowed to brew between basically April and September. And the last beer that was brewed in the year was in March, in März. So it's called a Märzen, and that beer used to be a bit stronger to live through the summer months and still be good. And how that Märzen style became the base of the Oktoberfest beer is that in 1872, Mr. Schottenhamel, a landlord of a tent, he ran out of beer. And that's a huge problem. So he sent for the brewery, Franziskaner Leisbrewery back then, for this Märzen. He was like, just give me something. I need something, even if it's a bit more expensive and stronger. And the people loved it. And from then on, the Märzen was the base for the Oktoberfest. But now Märzen and Oktoberfest beers are two separate styles.
Yeah, and the separate thing is that Märzen in Bavaria has to be 13 degrees by Stammwürzegehalt.
Degrees Play-Doh.
Play-Doh. And Oktoberfest beer has to be 13.5, so it's a little stronger than the Märzen that you get all over Bavaria. And very important for us is that the Austrians, they have Märzen beer too, but the Austrian Märzen is in Bavaria like a Helles, so much weaker. And if Austrians come to the Oktoberfest and think Märzen, that's what I drink all year. So it's very difficult for them because it's much stronger.
Okay. Is Oktoberfest beer, is it also like a typical style? Because I know there are some breweries also in the United States, for example, that have like an Oktoberfest beer. Is that define what exactly it has to be, or is it just a name thing?
No, it's actually defined, like even since 2022, like Oktoberfest beer is a geographically protected name. Like you can't just use it from the EU, like Parmesan cheese or champagne. So yeah, because it's very famous beer, a lot of breweries try to copy it, but yeah, it's something that only if you put Oktoberfest beer on your label, it has to be from Munich according to the specifications. And I also have to say, I tried a lot of them abroad, like the copies, they don't get it, I have to say.
And it's sometimes really funny what they are doing. They do Oktoberfest, and they do some different small variations, and so to avoid that they are really copying, but it's difficult. Yeah,
it's difficult. Yeah, maybe we can also talk a little bit more about the beer once it's tapped, because I have a little surprise for you then as well throughout the highlight of this show. Maybe just so we know, we have the 6 Munich breweries. It is Augustiner, Paulaner, Hackabschor, Spaten, Löwenbräu, and Hofbräu. Yeah, probably internationally most known is Hofbräu because of the Hofbräuhaus, I would say. Yeah, those are the 6 ones. Is it difficult to become a new one? If I would just have a new brewery here with the water from Munich and just say, well, I would like to be on the Wiesen?
Yeah, there is a discussion because we have some new breweries in Munich, but so there is I think from the city of Munich, there is a written rule which breweries are allowed to go to the Oktoberfest, and there is the saying of the rule is they have to be big enough to serve the Oktoberfest and big tents, so they have the power to do that. And the other thing is they have to be traditional, and this is now a big discussion because the upcoming breweries, the new ones, they are maybe 20 or at least 25 years old. And if it is tradition or not, and if they are allowed or not. So I think the discussion will go on, but there will be a change maybe.
Okay, that's going to be interesting. Is there enough room for another tent on the Oktoberfest?
Well, there's a lot of room.
Okay, well, the parade is still going on. Are they running late? No. Everything should be according to plan, but this also looks like it's now we're more towards the end of it. Maybe today is of course the first day. The Oktoberfest is taking place till October 6th. Yeah. So Sunday. It's always the weekend after October 3rd, which is a holiday in Germany, right?
Yes.
So it's between, I believe, 11 is the shortest, no, 13 days and 17 days or 18 days was the longest.
If it is going 1 week, so it's always on the 3rd of October, and if the 3rd of October is maybe a Monday, so they enlarge it to the 3rd of October, so it's 1 day longer. If it is a Tuesday, they enlarged it for 2 days for the 3rd of October, and then it's going a week back, and so the 3rd of October is in the second week, and not on the end.
The end, okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is how it's going. Do you have any other advice for people who are watching this and saying this looks like fun? I've always wanted to come to Oktoberfest. What should they prepare? So are there any golden rules for Oktoberfest in particular, but also of course for any Volksfest in Bavaria in general?
Yeah, just think about, especially if you're into the beer, think about how you're gonna get home safe at the end of the night. Make sure where you're staying, you're familiar with all the public transportation if you need to use it, where to get to. That gets extra challenging after a mass or two. And just be enjoy yourself, but be respectful to, servers, other people. Also know that there's no shame in just tapping out when you know that you had enough.
Yeah.
Drink water. that's like a major thing. Drink water. There's also no shame in ordering water.
There are also some, which is actually quite new, water drinking fountains that are for free. So you can get water for free outside of the tents, which is something that has been going on quite well. And
so every tent offers non-alcoholic beers and non-alcoholic other beverages, and non-alcoholic beers developed really very, very well in the last years in quality and in taste. So maybe start with a non-alcoholic beer or have one in between or in the end. That's very, very good. And for me, I think don't consider Oktoberfest like it's just going in, having beer and celebrate and have party and then go out again. So you miss the whole thing if you do that. So come before, go over the whole area, enjoy this life there, the mood, all these nice done things, and look at all this beautiful clothes, all the beautiful things that are happening there, the horses in front of the tents and so on. And then in the evening or go to one of the beer gardens if the weather is like today. So it is more than going in a tent and having one after each other and celebrating. That's just a small thing of that. Now we can see from Augustiner Brewery. Very nice. They are now hitting the Wiesen. Yeah, yes. So it comes to an end.
Getting closer.
And then they are in front of their tents and walking in.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the big thing.
Yeah, barely 14 minutes to go. Then it's noon, and then it should be tapped. The first beer, which is served in a Stein, or as a Maßkrug, as you would say in German, is for the Prime Minister of Bavaria, and then the rest is served to the people then as well. Yeah, maybe another very, very basic advice is that is not the most common thing to pay cashless on Oktoberfest. So it is better to have some cash at hand because there is not everywhere there is not a card payment accepted. So yeah, and we are very excited about how this is developing. You are watching BR24 live, covering this year's opening ceremony of the 190th Munich Security Conference is what I wanted to say, because this is what I'm also hosting of the Munich Oktoberfest. Yeah, close.
And
that
it's
one
secure too.
Yeah, it's also very secure. That is true. There's also a lot of security going on. Of the Munich Oktoberfest, of course, we are 12 and a half minutes away from the traditional tapping of the first keg by the mayor of the city of Munich, Dieter Reiter. If you want to still see that, then just bear with us. With me there is Marlene Speck-Waller, brewer and malt master, and Walter König, managing director of Bavarian Brewers Association. By the way, if you are having this, I'm supposing you have a lot of international guests coming for Oktoberfest. You are going to hide. Are you introducing yourself as Walter King because it has a nicer ring to it?
No, it's just Walter.
It's just Walter. Okay.
Yeah. But if we then see the mayor opening the first cask, so on the casks or beside that is sitting the Münchner Kindl, and she's wearing a very this is a traditional clothes that usually monks wear, and the Munich Kindl is the old weapon sign of the city of Munich, and she is elected out of people that are running the Oktoberfest, out of the people who are running tents, out of the people who are running all these funny things. And so it's not every year election, so they do it for some years. But it's very important, and she leads the parade. She leads the today's parade, and she leads the parade tomorrow, the big parade. And then she will be there when the first cask is opened. Yeah.
Are you excited still after all these years? Also, this is something I have to mention. Walter is joining us today, and for the first time in, like you said, 25 years, you are not there on the ground, but you are here in the studio. So we are actually humbled by your presence here. So are you still getting excited about Oktoberfest, or are you like, it is nice, it is one of the highlights, but it's business as usual?
You're every year excited, so it is like a ramp that you're going through about 4 to 6 weeks before Oktoberfest it starts. If you get from the different breweries the first Oktoberfest beers to have a taste of that before it starts, so you're really it is like a tradition, and a year is very long, so you if it starts again, you're full in that. And so 25 years, and every year it's great.
How about you?
Same. It's just like I was actually born in Munich, like next to the Theresienwiese. So it's just every year I'm super happy. It's just in my blood, and from when you're a little child, because a lot of people also forget that it's like a family fest where you go with your children and you grow up with it. And this year I'm extra psyched because I was pregnant last year, so I couldn't drink the beer. So it's going to be even better this year to have the first sip.
But beware, the beer is stronger than usual beer.
I never forget that.
Also, this is also something maybe we can talk about. There is this year also the so-called Oude Wiesen, which would translate to it's the old Oktoberfest. So it's like a special area. You also have to pay a little entrance fee to enter it, and it is like
small.
Yeah, it's like €2 or something like that. And it is like the Oktoberfest used to be, or how can you describe it?
So when they celebrated the 200th anniversary of the Oktoberfest some years ago, in 2010, they restarted a Oktoberfest like it was not in the beginning, but about 100 years ago, with traditional music groups, with very traditional merry-go-rounds and things that are not so exciting, but in this times very, very exciting. And there's the same beer. It's Oktoberfest beer, but they use the steins, the old steins, not the glass ones, or the traditional ones. And it's a little bit quiet. It's not the party Oktoberfest. It's like more tradition, more people, even in really traditional clothing, Tracht. And there are stages where people from all over Bavaria show their traditions, show traditional dance, show Gäuselschnalzen and what else?
Like whips. Yeah, so also this is for especially for families or for people with smaller children. It's probably one of the best starting point for the Oktoberfest. Also, if you're interested in having like a glimpse back in the good old days. And now we can see the parade is still going on. Are there still people coming with the wagons, even though it is already the tapping tradition?
No. It stops right before 12, and then the minister-president, Mr. Dr. Söder, is going into the Schottenhammel tent, and all the others, they're going 5 minutes before 12, they're going in their tents, so the parade stops before 12.
Okay, so that's also, of course, something that has been rehearsed over the last couple of years. And you can see here a glimpse in the little tent. Do you know which one it is? Is it the Schottenhammel?
I cannot see it from here. Should be. Yeah, because the mayor is walking in, it's Schottenhammel. Yeah.
Why is it, do you know why it is the Schottenhammel tent?
I don't know.
I remember a story because when Mr. Wimmer, the previous mayor of Munich, started the tradition in 1950, it was said that he was too late, and Mr. Schottenhammel back in the day, like today it's also Mr. Schottenhammel who owns the tent, but back in the day he saw the mayor being late. He was like, come on, hop on into my carriage. I'll take you there, but in exchange for that, you're going to tap the first keg in my tent. Okay. And that's how the tradition started.
Oh, there's also a fun little anecdote. So here you can see in the back wearing this. This is the Prime Minister of Bavaria, Markus Söder, with his wife. And here behind the mayor and his wife, you can see it in the black and yellow dress is the Münchner Kindl, as Walter was explaining earlier. Yeah, here they're waving, and it is packed, of course. There is not one single spot left, probably, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. If you want to go there, of course, most people would like to be in a tent and would like to sit there. Is there any chance of them going and getting some if you don't have a reservation or anything? Can you just say, yeah, just go in and try? Or
and if you don't want to run in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's the thing. I remember when I was a teenager, I used to get up at like 5 a.m. and like go to the city and queue and everything. So if you want to be there at the most important starting point, you have to put in some work. It's like
really? Okay.
Yeah, you it's the can't just show up at 10 to 12 and so yeah, be there early.
Okay, but this is for today, for the starting game. And for every other day,
you can do reservations. There are internet reservation systems on every tent. But reservation starts, I think, in end of March, April. You have to be aware that if you want to have a table in August or in September, that's difficult. So you have to be early, and then you get a regular table, and you don't pay too much. So you just pay that the tent is paid for that. So two mugs of beer and half a handle. That's what you have to pay, and don't pay more, because every other things are fake. And
of course, there are also some scams. Yeah, got to be aware of that. So usually it should not be that expensive. Even though, I mean, yes, for German standards, it's always the discussion about what's the beer price, and it's 1580, I believe, euros is the highest one.
About. I didn't watch it on the cents, but
it's around about 15 euros for 1 liter of beer. So, of course, for German standards, there are people saying that it is a bit pricey, but of course, depending on where you're from and where you're watching, you say like this is what it costs here every day. So I couldn't care less. So it's getting more exciting by the second, because it's only 3 minutes ish left, and here we can see the final words of the mayor of Munich before he is tapping it. I've heard that he had some problem with his shoulder, I believe.
Yeah, he had operation.
So the big question is that something that could influence him? But I also heard that he said he just took 2 ibuprofens and he should be good to go.
Yes. And he told yesterday, because it is from you don't have to put your arm very high, so he can do it for 45 degrees, but not more. But he taps from down, and so it's not a problem. He said
it's not a problem. Okay, how is the best technique? Do you use the wrist, or do you actually really swing your arm? If you do it?
Use the weight of use the weight. That's
so
the big
again
thing.
Here is the gavel or the hammer or whatever. How is it called in? What's the actual name? How would you call it?
Schlegel.
Schlegel.
Yeah.
Okay. So
just key is keep your wrist locked. Like don't do this, but like with your whole like firm arm. Use the weight and not like it's not a tiny nail in the wall.
It's not a hammer. Yeah, you really have to. Okay, so now then we can watch the ceremony now. It's only 2 minutes left, and then I mean, this is the highlight. This is why you are watching. Let's face facts. Of course, you want to see how this tapping of the first keg is going, and this is the highlight we're all coming together now for, and so we are watching this now, and.
And remember, it's not just in this tent that we are watching. It's in every tent, and thousands of people are waiting for the first sip, for the first mug, and it's a big thing.
And I mean, people are waiting for like 3+ hours, so the first sip is gonna be even better.
Eine großartige Wiesn, und ich freue mich auf eine tolle Zeit mit meinem Mann zusammen.
War es recht heiß schon auf dem Weg daher? Haben Sie das Gefühl, das Dirndl lässt gut Luft durch?
Yes, so the last words, last interviews.
Okay, dann schwitzen Sie nicht
Yeah.
sehr, haben Sie
Yeah,
Spaß.
in the background, the
Herr
mayor is
Söder,
getting
ich freue
ready.
mich nach dem letzten Jahr auch dieses Jahr.
1 minute left.
Das ist gesetzt jetzt, oder?
Definitiv, was kann das schöner sein als in einer echten Miesbacher Tracht, oder?
Jawohl, passt ja. Der OB hat einmal gesagt, er hatte kurz vor der Wiesn das Gefühl, seine sei eingegangen. Wie war es bei Ihnen, als es heuer anzogen haben?
Ja, ich glaub, ich bin reingekommen,
Good question.
Yes, that's a good point.
Letztes Jahr muss ich sagen, aber ich will es mal so sagen, ja, wir haben so schwere Zeiten. Ich finde, wir nehmen uns jetzt mal während der Wiesn eine Auszeit von den Krisen und feiern mal richtig. Die Zeiten werden eh noch schwierig, aber hier ist Auszeit von Krise, Freude, Lebensfreude pur.
Hier ist Auszeit von Kreise, hier ist Wiese.
Yeah, so a little fun German wordplay, and now it's only now the final 10 seconds. Begin. There's the countdown.
Oh, it's a countdown, yes.
Exciting.
And he's prepared for doing it.
Yes.
Very nice. Good stand.
Yeah.
1, 2, wow, he didn't have the thumb in.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's still
and
worked.
it was jumping.
You could see it. You
Yeah,
could
it was
see
jumping.
That
So
was
it was really
risky move.
That was risky this year.
A little bit of technique criticism.
Oh.
And here's the
So we get the
surprise.
first mark here.
Yes. Almost like we're there.
Very good.
So, and it is tapped, is what the mayor just said, and therefore the 190th Oktoberfest in Munich has begun. And we're also having a little bit of something here, and so we can maybe also Prost a bit, as we say in German, so we can just have also the first sip, because this is, I mean, what it is also about, and maybe you can also tell us already what it is, how to drink it properly, how to hold this, because I see people there doing like this, or what is,
Well, you can drink your beer however you like,
Yes.
but you warm up the beer with your hand rather quickly. I mean, it's a thick glass, but still, I would stick with the handle and not warm it up.
And on the other side, if you have the hand on the glass, do it. So if you say Prost, you get the finger in between.
So,
so
like this would
zack.
be not a good thing. Yeah.
That's not very good for the nails.
Yeah.
in the hands. Well then, okay, cheers.
Prost.
Prost auf eine friedliche Wiesn.
Auf eine friedliche
Ja.
Wiesn. So.
To a peaceful Oktoberfest.
So, then tell us about
That's a
this.
real Oktoberfest beer.
You can tell?
Yeah, you're good.
Surprised.
So we did not expect that.
Great surprise.
Like I said, there is a little surprises. So, what are the rules? Are there rules to drink, enjoy, and not to binge drink the beer properly on Oktoberfest?
That's the key part. You said it. Enjoy it. Like it's not about maximum impact drinking. It's about enjoyment. Like just sit down, savor it, enjoy it. You're gonna feel the impact of the beer early enough. Like it's gonna do its part. Just enjoy it and be happy about it. Maybe we can touch on the whole Norgal debate.
Of course. So if the what is left in the beer, so like the last sip that stays in there.
Exactly, because like
And there are people who are saying you should not drink it and leave it in there, or
that is a big
do you drink up
discussion.
entirely or not?
I don't. Like I'm a Norgal avoider. To explain the word, Norgal from the Bavarian language means it's basically what's left in there when you tilt the mug. So it's the very last thing. I think in English it's called backwash. So and that indicates already it's everything. The last rest of the beer, whatever, maybe some bits of Händel that dropped in while you're eating. No, but the last bit of beer, usually, depending on how fast you drink, is warmed up, lost carbonation, and I personally don't enjoy it. But I also have friends and colleagues who say the beer is expensive enough. I will drink every last drop of it.
Yeah.
And they say you just have to drink faster if your beer is not carbonated at the end. So it's really up to you.
Okay. Anything else? Just enjoy it.
and enjoy the people who are going with you to the fest. So have good discussions, have a lot of new contacts. So now it's Oktoberfest. Yes, it's a special time in the year, but during the year there are a lot of people who go to restaurants just having a beer. Or we have a lot of Stammtisch in Germany, so you go with the same people in the same restaurant every 2 weeks, every week, every 4 weeks, so different things. And people who go to such meetings, they are coming down with a beer. So it's the whole evening is with the beer, but with the people talking, celebrating that you have the time to visit. Taking the time to talk to each other, that's the thing you should do on Oktoberfest too. Not just going there and having one or 2 or 3 mugs and then party and then drunk away.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I get it. So as you would say, enjoy responsibly. So then we can have all another sip again. This is also something, of course, that is a tradition. The Prosit der Gemütlichkeit that you also have at the tents. It's like at some point the music is playing a specific kind of song. Everybody sings along, and then they just cheer.
Yeah.
And what I think really interesting is they play it around every 15 minutes in the tents, and if you just count together, if I don't know, 8,000 people, just say a number from the tents, take one sip, how much beer is being sold by just playing that one song? Because multiply 8,000 sips, and you get a couple of hundred of liters of beer just being sold because one song is being played.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've tackled on a lot of subjects here for the Munich Oktoberfest. Thank you so much for being our guests today. Marlene Speck-Waller, brewer and malt master, and Walter König, managing director of the Bavarian Brewers Association. Thank you all for joining us, watching us, the countdown live, the tapping, the opening ceremony of this year's Munich Oktoberfest. If you plan on going, please enjoy responsibly and do everything we talked about. And have a good one, and I'll see you around next time. Bye-bye.